Welcome everyone to the City of Canby Bicycle and Pedestrian Citizen Advisory Committee, April 8th. And thank you, Russ, for being our minute taker tonight. I'll call the meeting to order at 6:34. And we don't have our minutes available this evening, but we will get those approved next month. Doesn't look like we have public comment, and we'll move on down to new business. And
Point of order.
yes,
How many members do we have now? And it was 4 of us here. Do we have a quorum?
we have a quorum because there's 5 of us in total
Okay.
at the moment. So Britt is not present tonight.
Right.
And anyhow, we also had a nice interview with Michelle Bailey. She's taking part as a possible committee member. And Emma and I met with her last week, and she has interest in, she's primarily a walker, but she rides too, and seemed like a very nice candidate. And she has experience with, she was the second cohort when she was living in Molalla for the Ford Family Foundation Rural Leadership Group, and they helped build the little byway bridge over the creek there in Molalla that takes you up to like the Lumberjack, you know.
Malala
That
River
place.
Brewing and a lumberjack, yeah.
Thank you, Molalla River Viewing.
So
Brewing.
on Industrial Road,
Right.
Mm-hmm,
Is it
exactly.
Industrial Road or Industrial
Yeah.
Way?
Industrial Way.
Yeah, that was their, kind of their class project, so to speak, for their rural leadership thing.
I've used that bridge multiple times.
Multiple times,
I
yeah.
used it this week, yeah,
Did you?
within the week,
Yeah.
yeah.
So she's also taking part in the City of Canby, what do you call
The
that?
Civic Academy.
Yeah, the
So we
Civic
had
Academy.
discussed that they're doing, it was Counselor Stearns, our previous liaison, he is a big proponent, champion of it. Where, they're having folks who applied, and it's kind of a cohort, and they're teaching them about the various segments of the city and what does the library do, and how does it work on the back end, and they're doing that for all the
That sounded
departments.
great to have on the committee.
And so that's how she found out about the position opening, was they mentioned it.
Yeah, yeah.
And she seemed pretty interested.
Quite, yeah, she was, or is, and she was a single mother, raising kids, earlier when she was in Molalla, and now, she had moved to California for a while, family stuff for her dad, and now she's back here and living in Canby and family around and all that. So anyhow, sounds like she's interested in especially helping with, filling in the sidewalk gaps and all, and multi-use paths she mentioned. And, so,
And she told us she's a former teacher, so kind of is versed in the school world.
yes, that's right,
Not necessarily with the city, or not with Canby necessarily, but.
yeah. But
But
yeah,
we
she
have
has
some-
her time working in the school district kind of helps her, might help her with some of our safe routes to school projects. She's not the person with the school, but she might know how to feel around some of that. Any comments from anyone?
I'm glad that somebody's interested in joining the committee.
Yes. And I'm going to also try to reach out. I need to chat with Teresa and get the contact information for the gentleman who had wanted to work with the Traffic Safety Committee, and his primary mode of transportation is wheelchair. So I think that it'd be nice to encourage him to come see what we're about and see if he might be interested in contributing, and we'd encourage it. So anyhow, moving on, unless anyone else had any suggestions. We have chair and vice chair elections that committees go through, so
Have we ever had a vice chair before?
I don't know if we really had a vice chair, but Bruce, you
served in like a
kind
vice chair.
of are serving as vice chair if I'm gone.
Yeah.
So.
How about I'll nominate Mindy to be chair.
A second.
Okay. Thank you very
You're really
much.
popular.
Yeah, okay. As long as I'll do anything not to take minutes.
So this is the kind of penalty that we feel on.
All those in favor?
Wait, hold on, you didn't ask if there's any other
Oh, any
nominations.
discussion, any other nominations? Please, sorry.
All right, now you can go on.
Okay.
Aye.
In favor?
Aye.
Okay,
I
thank you
nominate
all.
Bruce to be vice chair.
Second.
Okay, yeah,
I'll
is
accept.
that okay? All right.
Any other nominations?
Okay, any other nominations, discussion,
Yeah.
Alvar? Yeah,
Wow.
all right,
Elections this way.
all right, now, on to Malala River cleanup is coming up this Saturday. Bruce.
Meet at Friar Park at, I think it's, I have to look.
Oh,
Bruce, I printed out the page from Solve.
Oh,
I
good.
just printed out one version, but if anyone wants copies, I can
yeah,
make some more copies. It says like where to meet and time.
what time?
I'm gonna look it up on my calendar to get the time right.
No, it's right here. Let me see.
I'm supposed to
Starts
show up
at
early.
9.
It shows up at 9 o'clock at Friar Park.
Okay. And,
And there is trail work and campsite work and litter pickup and,
Hello, Michelle.
hi, Michelle,
hello, Michelle.
welcome.
Sorry, I'm late.
You missed a very exciting election.
Yes, yes.
And we've been talking about you. I haven't been.
Oh, okay.
Michelle, I haven't-
I'll take a
Hi,
moment,
Bruce.
we'll do introductions. Yeah.
Okay, I'm
Bruce.
Bruce Parker.
Hello, Bruce Parker.
And Bruce, do you want to share some of the committees that you're active in, and
Okay,
how long have you
I'm,
lived in Canby?
Canby, I've been, what, 38 years, something like that. I am past chair of the Clackamas County Bike and Ped Committee. I'm not currently the chair, but I am on the committee. I'm on the Malala River Watch. I am a board member there. And as of just a couple of minutes ago, I am now vice chair here. So you could have been a vice chair if you were here earlier.
I
Yeah.
didn't sit in the chair. Great.
Yeah, and I'll hand it over.
I'm Cliff Ash.
Hi,
Hello.
Cliff.
Yeah.
And Cliff, you're interested in this committee? Good.
I've lived in Canby a little over 30 years. And my main push on our committee is I'm interested in the extension of the logging road.
And a great advocate for the sidewalk gaps.
Especially on 10th Street.
Yeah, I talk to people about, how can you walking in the gutter? I mean, these sidewalks cost a lot of money. You should be walking on them.
Right.
I'm Russ Heineman. I'm a newbie to Canby. I've only been here 21 years. And I walk, but I principally ride my bike, now my e-bike. And I think I got most interested because of really active because of hopefully getting the bike path, the forest trail expanded, but then we've done a lot of other things. And so I haven't done any other committees in Canby though.
Oh, but you've been on other committees for,
Well, in other places, you mean?
yeah.
Well, yeah, but I was a salesman for a long time, so there weren't any committees. Independence, I was a committee of one. Back when I worked for the state, I was involved in the union, and but that was 40 years ago. So
And Michelle,
I'm Michelle, and I'm a transplant from Malino. So I've lived in this general area for over 25 years, but only in Canby for 4. And I got more interested. I walk, so I live by the golf course, so I have that lovely path that connects with the forest road. But I realized after going to a meeting of just how many tooth gap smiles we have in our sidewalks. So I'm interested in that, and also possibly working with the schools and stuff. So I'm a nanny right now, but I worked for several school districts, Malala River and Lake Oswego. So.
and you did the Malala,
Yeah, and I was
Ford family.
when I lived in Malino, so I'm a Ford Family Foundation Opportunity Scholar, and then I was in the second cohort for the Bear Creek Byway. That was a Ford community group. And we put a bridge across the creek so that it wouldn't be a food desert for people over off of Tolliver. They didn't have to walk on the road. So, but that was a long time ago.
So that's the name of that little creek, Bear Creek?
Yeah, over by
I
Fountain
used
Valley.
I used your bridge this week.
Oh, good,
Yeah.
thank you, I appreciate that.
I think we all have used it
Yeah.
many times, and it's made a really nice difference.
Yeah. So that was a fun project to be on.
Well,
It's cool to have
welcome.
a tangible project, because
Yes.
you don't always get that.
Yeah.
That is true, that is true.
And she went to Merrillhurst, so, yeah.
Graduate of Merrillhurst. That's how I got to go back, was Hallie Ford was my benefactor, so I was able to go back to school and tie it all together.
Yeah. Great. Well, thank you, and we're not, thank you. So I'm thinking that we'll probably be making a recommendation to the city council to take you into consideration, and we appreciate you two coming and taking part.
Oh, yeah.
So anyhow,
Oh, maybe we should put that to a vote.
what's that?
Maybe we should put that to a vote. You're saying we maybe
Oh,
might? Why we
It's,
just-
it's not up for voting.
I know,
It's
but for us to make a recommendation,
Sure, we can.
that's what,
Yeah, yeah.
He's using his vice chairman.
point of order, if you're gonna make a recommendation, it should come from the whole
Yeah.
committee.
I was told by Teresa that we don't do it in committee usually.
Oh,
So
all right,
that's
whatever you
why
wanna do.
I'm kind of hesitating. That's the city registrar. So, but I would love to hear your,
well, I'm excited to have you
Yeah, I am
sit
too.
in the committee, and what you've done in the past looks like it'll be really helpful for us, because we all walk in, even though I'd like to say I ride more, but I walk a lot. Cliff walks all the time. I know he walks hundreds of miles a week. And so,
Well, Bruce and I did
What?
the Ten Falls trail today.
oh, you did?
That's Silver Falls.
Silver
Yeah.
Falls?
What's that?
oh, yeah,
Great.
10 miles?
About,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
It's a
I've
fun-
never
And it
done the
was
whole
wet.
thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Not easy, so.
And did you use your cultural pass from the library to pay for your parking?
No,
You could.
we could, but,
Oh,
You have a pass.
yeah.
a 2-year pass.
oh, need to get one. Is it, do you have to be of a certain age?
No, it's just for like the day, but it's through the cultural pass system. There's several places that you can get a parking
Yeah.
fee.
They have one for
Good.
museums and stuff.
Yeah.
So you can go up in Portland.
And tomorrow, we're going on a bike ride with the bike bunch.
Oh, you are?
To Malala.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And so, Bruce was just sharing that we have the Malala River cleanup.
Yeah, let me pick up on that again for Michelle.
Great.
So there, it's part of the SOLVE program,
Mm-hmm.
and the Malala River Watch is doing a cleanup, and they're meeting up at Friar Park
Mm-hmm.
at 9 o'clock. And, you know, of course, as far as campgrounds in the, up the corridor, roadside and trail cleanup.
Okay.
And I'll be up there doing trail work.
And it's part of a solve cleanup
Mhm.
day. This is one of the sites.
So come and join us if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bruce, e-bike regulations update, anything to?
Okay, I'm gonna backpedal a little bit because
Sure.
Cheryl doesn't know this. The city of Canby, its parks and rules regulations adopt the state's regulations. And there's some discussion of what could or should be done on the bike path, on the walking path. And so anyway, it came up on the state level of what to do with e-bikes. And so this committee had submitted a letter of recommendations and a viewpoint to it. But currently, the state's Parks and Rec is looking at simply saying, wherever you are allowing bikes, you will allow e-bikes. And it actually expanded e-bikes to be used on the beach, on the wet sands. And so they actually made it a little more generous, which to me is real common sense, but it prohibits them. The city would have to do a special ordinance to make it different for e-bikes. It could be banned on, let's say, on the logging road.
Right.
And there was some discussion of that, and so that's the significance of that. And so the update is, I don't know of any changes to that, and it's open to public comment, I believe still.
I believe so.
But I'd have to check on that. So, and then it goes through another process, so it's all the public comments looked at, and then they make a decision and it gets a done deal. So if they don't change anything, I'm happy with what they got.
So, and thank you, Bruce. Going on to Clackamas County Bike Ped update.
It's been, I think, 26 years since the county updated their bike and walk plan. And so it's, you know, the county is huge. And they had one representative from the bike committee on it. And anyway, it basically centered in what I call the urban county area of northwest Clackamas County. In other words, the unincorporated areas around Milwaukee and Oak Grove and this area. And the representative from the bike committee basically is in that area. And so a lot was done there. But the rural outlying areas, and we were in the area called South Canby, almost nothing was done. And what was done terrible. I will say they did, on a tertiary talk about the Malala River the logging road, Malala Logging Road, all the way out to Malala, which is not a possibility anymore.
No.
But they had that in there. They talked, as a tertiary, a connection between Oregon City and Canby. But their primary one, the only primary one was along Whiskey Hill Road between 91 and Hubbard.
Oh,
And I said, that's not where we need our primary, and I talked to Joseph. It was Joseph it was our rep.
uh-huh,
That's not where we need it,
Yeah.
we had a choke point out here on Ivy.
uh-huh.
This is the area nothing was done. So when they reviewed it, I was kind of disgusted with it.
Oh,
So anyway, it's a plan, it's, there's no money behind it, so I guess it's what it is. I'm not gonna get too more, spending more energy on it.
thank you. Back to some nice new staff and council updates.
I have a few updates. I sent out the first, so Councilor Waterman wasn't able to make it tonight, but he said, I don't have any updates aside for what is in the first Friday memo. I sent that on Friday. I'm not sure if everyone saw it. But one of the updates is that the access down from the trail to 99, from the logging road to 99 on the other side of Fred Meyer, has been approved, and council approved the contract for the construction, and so that should be starting soon.
Michelle, do you know what she's talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
We spent quite a bit of time talking with Michelle about some of these projects on Thursday. I appreciate your thing, but it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it is. It's something that we've been working for a long time.
Very much so, very much so. And the city really found a reasonable way to meet ADA and, access. So there's limitations with
Agreed.
the train, but we got something, so that's great.
And it will be ADA accessible.
Much more accessible for people to get to Fred Meyer. And short of that, hotspots, which I had shared at our meeting on last Tuesday, we kind of explained to Michelle what our hotspots are and any observations, recommendations.
Mindy, can we backtrack for a minute?
Yes.
I have two more things.
Oh, you
Sorry.
do? I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. We can wrap this up and then we can
Yeah.
go back to mine if that's, I don't want to stop you.
No, go
and
back
go.
to yours.
I just
Because
wanted
we didn't really
to,
go anywhere.
For you and Bruce, whichever one of you, just a reminder that this is kind of peak budgeting season, if maybe you want to ping Jerry again and just remind
Yes.
about kind of what we were hoping to get on this upcoming budget, which I think was primarily the striping.
Yeah.
So just a reminder, that probably doesn't hurt. And then the only other thing I wanted to mention is just a relaying of a message from Ryan Potter, who is a planner also in the planning department, who's the liaison for the Parks and Recreation Committee. They had a presentation from,
For the cultivating Canby.
no, there is where the dentist is off of South Redwood. That road, they've been, it's a private road, but it connects to the logging road. They'd be very interested to turn that into a public road, and so one angle that,
Who's they?
the dentist who,
He would like to, yeah.
he owns the subdivision
He's requested that for years.
for years, yes.
So where-
And the road's up, it's not built up to standards.
Correct, yes.
Not the code.
It's on South Redwood. I can pull it up here just to give a sense. But so, this is just kind of context for how this conversation came up. But so he went to Bike and Ped to ask he went to
Marks?
Parks, thank you, South Redwood, right here. This little access to the logging road here. So this is a private road and then this access. And so they went to parks to say, you know, well, hey, we've recognized there's really nowhere for parking to park and access the logging road on the south part of town. And I think anecdotally, they said they've noticed some people using this area, so, you know, hey, city, would you consider implementing a public parking area somewhere within this subdivision that, and so the Parks Committee, to my understanding, didn't support that, but the conversation of, you know, there is some merit to, hey, there's not really a parking lot where you could, you know, if you were coming to the
As
logging
if a
road.
trailhead,
Yeah,
so
kind
to
of like
speak.
you have up on Territorial by Echo Park where, you know, if you don't
Well,
live in
out the other end of
town.
the logging road, you do have the small city park.
The timber park.
Yes,
Timber
but that's all
Park.
street parking.
Yes,
True.
And so they just had talked about, you know, maybe there's some continuity with the school grounds by Baker Prairie to, you know, provide some parking nearby. So that was just a preliminary idea that they discussed, that was shared with me. So just kind of keeping you on the loop on that conversation of, you know, they agreed there's some merit to, there could be more parking that could give direct access to folks to the logging road and maybe, you know, utilizing the schools, which there has been no discussion with the school also, I will note, this is kind of just really,
could you go
Early
back to
thoughts.
that, the.
I'm a little
Yeah.
confused.
sure.
Yeah,
Okay,
no, go into, it shows the lots. There. What would be cool, and this is a what if lot, is it 1568? The one on that one, if that could be turned into, if it could be, he could donate that.
Well,
I think the issue
that's
is it
where
remains.
Parks said,
I know.
no. we
I know,
don't.
but let me just run with it. They donate that and the city takes over the maintenance of the street.
And I think that was somewhat, you know, part of the request, and that situation has
so
a very complicated, long
so
history.
he's, I'm not quite understanding what, he wants he wants it to be parking there for people who want to access the bike path or
Correct.
logging road. Because there's no place to park now, or they just have to park on the street, and that takes parking away from his dental practice?
Correct, and the street is a private street, so it's not owned by the city,
Oh.
the subdivision, so his
Well, so he wants
dental
the
practice.
city to take over the street,
Correct,
Yeah.
because, but, you know, you can ride a bike through there,
correct.
so.
But nobody going down that street would realize it was a private road.
Yes,
Yeah,
but function, you know,
Yeah.
technically a private road.
yeah.
So there's some complicated history there, but
But for me, I wouldn't shun aside other projects for that.
Yeah. No,
so just, you know, just to think about, you know,
Mhm.
plant the seed a little bit of parking on the south side, you know, how important do you all feel it is? And if so, you know, any ideas of where, just,
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to have
Yeah.
some parking there available for Baker Prairie, but it's in relative proximity to Timber Park, but that's again on-street parking.
and Timber Park's down here, right? Yeah.
Well, there wouldn't be any point in turning it into a public road unless you also had parking there. So, because otherwise,
Oh, you're back at Redwood?
yeah, because
Oh,
I
yeah.
guess where you're moving on to Timber Park.
Yeah, no, I was just, they had suggested Baker Prairie Middle School as a place to park for,
I mean, taking part of
Access.
that land.
I think it would be more like a
Just an
shared
agreement.
agreement, some.
to allow
park-
parking.
Parking that already there.
Yeah,
Nobody seems to care, but
Yeah.
I understand that's not permanent.
and they gave me, they were, I think, suggesting like an ancillary park, an additional parking area. Like, you know, right, cause this is the main parking lot where you could certainly park here and go up, but, you know, seeing if, I believe this is open space, you know, could something be paved over here to give more direct access to the trail, is
I
my
hate to see it
understanding
paved
Oh,
more.
is that what they were saying?
of what Parks was talking about.
You mean for people that wanna walk over there, is that the idea?
Yeah, or, people who wanna access the trail but don't live near it,
Okay, well,
or-
is there somebody other than the dental office that's anxious to have this happen?
Not to my understanding, that's kind of the.
It looks to
the
me
next-
like he wants, he wants to turn a private road into public road so the
Yeah.
public can take care of it. And so
Mhm.
so he figures out there's a problem, and his one answer is to, then, so it's coming up with other stuff about paving part of the school property, or, it doesn't make any sense to me. If they don't like people parking there, then, and they started ticketing them or something, I guess that might be.
Well, I think it was Parks that suggested Baker Prairie,
Correct,
right?
yes,
The Parks suggested it because of what he said.
correct,
'Cause
that's,
he brought
that's where the
Yeah.
conversation
So,
started.
so it
They
started,
didn't-
but his motive
Yeah.
probably is having the road turned over to the city. And they're taking it as maybe it's for another place to park. I don't know.
Yes,
It opens up a lot of can of worms.
Mhm.
There's been a long
Yes.
relationship between schools and parks where the schools have been providing fields. And that's just another continuation of that.
sure, yeah.
So I don't know if the school district would be crazy about
Well, I
that.
wouldn't think it would be good, because what do they need another patch of concrete for?
Although,
Well, you could use it for playing fields.
if we.
Concrete?
No,
Oh,
for
gravel?
parking, for the parents to park, to let the kids play. But,
Yeah,
you know.
but they aren't
I
gonna
volunteer.
walk from over there over to the playing field. The fields are all on the other side of the school.
Mhm.
I mean,
It is fairly close if you're gonna go on the road, yeah. you can
But
just-
honestly, do you see where the parking is
It's not that
in-
far.
right there?
Yeah,
You can just go straight
that,
across to the
yeah.
logging road.
oh, you can do this?
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh.
yeah,
Or you can go the other way, or on the other end.
Oh. Oh.
there, yeah.
So I think mostly it's not an issue that we're hearing from a lot of folks, but I think that Parks did clock, oh, yes, there's really no off-street parking areas designated for the logging road on the south end of town right now. So
Yeah.
just something that,
The comment we do get is, they'd like more bathrooms along the logging road.
Yeah.
that's a bigger
And
problem. than-
that's the big problem, and if we get
And on the
Eco
north end.
Park, we have Timber
I was gonna
Park.
say, on the north end, a bathroom would be great.
Not an outhouse.
No,
is there one?
no,
in Timber
sometimes you
Park?
gotta brave it.
There is a Timber Park?
There it is, there
Not on the
is,
north side.
I'm always afraid to
And,
get a tip over.
but nothing on the north side. I think they might have an outhouse, but they
Oh, it's
do
going
have
on.
Yeah,
plans
there's
for
one outhouse by the,
By the,
Eco
the
Park
sewer, the,
Sewer.
sewer, yeah.
and it's on a tilt.
Oh, like
And-
all the way up here.
They were hoping at one point to put in a
Down,
bathroom.
down,
it's right straight across from where the,
yeah,
Oh, right there.
Oh,
Out in there
right
someplace.
in there.
right
yeah.
here,
After using it once, I decided not to use it again.
never again.
So they were talking about putting a bathroom along Territorial there, kind of,
Like down
but
here.
did that die
That died.
with the dog park?
Yes,
No.
they weren't gonna put it there anyway, they're gonna put it over where they wanted to put the dog park.
I mean, with that much park all through there, they really do need a bathroom.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um,
I've got some notes, that was all I think that was all I had, sorry, Mindy. Yeah, that's all.
So does everybody call that patch of land the dog park? The dog park.
That's
That's it.
Wayside Park.
Well, that
It's
was-
Wayside Park.
It's an informal,
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
what's the official name?
Willamette Wayside?
Yeah, something like
Wayside?
that.
No,
There's technically a plan.
Okay.
The series outside.
Okay, any more?
Nope, that's all I have.
Any hot spots this month? Anyone wanted to suggest? Have you seen, what's Goodsbridge looking like lately?
it needs to be,
Anybody?
it needs to be swept. I mean, most of the bike lanes need to be swept.
Yeah, just with all the high winds and all.
Mhm, mhm.
I do think, I was also noticing the one going down the Molalla River State Park on the hill there. It was not. Yeah. Okay. I'll include that with my comments about striping, and I'll CC Public Works. Okay. Anything else on hotspots, safety? Anything? Outreach, Britt's out of town, but she's kind of our outreach person. And I was just thinking, I did see on Facebook one of our very old Facebook kind of inactive ones. Someone moved to Canby and they were looking for a bike
That
group
was on
to ride
Carbs.
with. And you saw-
Carbs.
Yeah.
Was it the Carbs? Okay.
Yeah, and Kevin Clack, he talked about it to the person, and I said, well, you know, and I did. But that page hasn't really been that active since the weekly bike ride.
Yeah, since.
We used to have a weekly bike ride that started with a bike shop that was in town.
Right, yeah.
And then he
left.
bailed on us. Yeah, he moved he wanted to live where it's 150 degrees in the shade.
Where do you move?
Phoenix.
Phoenix, that's it, okay.
Okay, I exaggerated 130 in the shade. But, and it kind of fell by the wayside, because the last year or so, he kind of quit on it and it got disorganized. You know, because it was a nice deal. A lot of times we'd
Oh,
have,
so many people
yeah,
were
we'd
involved.
have 20, 30 people, you know, and there would be maybe two groups. Then one day a week, they'd have fast riders, and then there was a community ride. And I mean, it could be started again. Might be a way to recruit other people for the committee as well. But it's a matter of committing to do it, and it's a good weather thing. You're not going to get people in bad weather.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
Russ, you were in that group. You want to,
I was in the,
think we should try to start it up again?
Yeah.
yeah. Well, will you guys go on it? You know, because I don't remember you ever
Yeah,
going.
I went a couple times. The worst thing was always rode during dinner time. And that's the one thing we are really good about our family is we have dinner at a certain time.
Well, I mean, the problem with that is if you don't go at that time, you don't go because you can't go too early or you miss people that are
Yeah,
working.
right.
And if you go too late, well then
Sure.
during the summer is the only time because, you know,
Yeah,
you gotta be able to finish by 7 or so.
This is the problem when you're retired.
No, what,
You don't want to ride your bike if it's raining, you know. You wait till it's sunny.
why don't you do this? What we do oftentimes, and that was, then we'd go and have something to eat afterwards.
yeah, that's
Tell Kathy that, and that's what you can do.
That's that
She'd enjoy it. She'd and that way I can get Judy to come out and ride. I could never get her to come out and ride.
all right.
So, okay, well,
So,
Sorry, folks, for being.
yeah, is that?
No worries.
I'm still here.
No, it's okay, I
I
can go
don't
around.
wanna-
Yeah.
All right.
I thought she was locking us in.
Well, I was like, no exaggerate, this door's open.
Yes.
Yeah,
No,
Carry
it was a smart move.
okay. Thank you.
Good night, Eileen.
Have a good rest of your meeting.
No, thank you.
what do you do on nights when you have a meeting? Like tonight?
Bye.
So it's not ironclad, it's what you're trying to say.
There you go.
But it didn't fly well, that's what I'm trying to say.
Well, invite her, you know, she can come too, you know.
Yeah.
We could turn it into potluck meeting, you know?
Yeah, and do you know anyone else out in the community that might be willing to kind of take it on
Well,
with
Britt
you, or-
and Jeff always rode, or one of the two of them would ride a lot.
Yeah,
And Kevin always wanted to ride fast.
uh-huh,
And Ron, you know, Big Ron, giant man,
Okay.
6'7", you know, he looked really
Yeah.
high. Yeah, he rode quite often.
Yeah.
And I can't remember some of the other people. Then there were people that were kind of in and out a lot. And then there were people that Tony knew, so they, you know, friends of Tony's that would come and ride, and
Yeah.
I haven't seen them, so.
I wonder about even like a twice a month ride or
Yeah,
something.
don't have to do it weekly.
Yeah.
If you just give people an idea of some time in the past, I mean, you know, when it'd be time to do it. There has to be somebody to be the point person, so I can do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
We could try it.
Think about it and,
Can't do it in June.
yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about it some more next month or, you know,
Yeah, because I don't think, it doesn't look like the weather's gonna be that great to start anything till, we can start, you know, riding, and somebody who's, you know, if the first one goes well and we're gone, then somebody else could
Yeah.
run it in June.
mhm.
Cliff, I guess,
Yeah,
could.
Cliff could do it.
I've never been on the.
Um, What I don't have on here is safe routes to school, but maybe when, Michelle, when you're official, it might be a nice, we'll bring that back into our queue here. So, and I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
But,
well, with
Go
safe
ahead.
routes to school, no, I'm done with that. The safe routes to school could also, since you're interested in walking and sidewalks, so there's a lot of things that have to do with safe routes to school that have to do with sidewalks. So kids are not walking on the street, they're walking on sidewalks.
mhm.
And so they can work together quite well.
You know what would be helpful too? It doesn't fall into the Safe Routes to School program necessarily, but if we can, as committee members, if anyone notices around the schools some striping that needs to be freshened up for crosswalks or, you know, warnings or bike lanes, email me and I will include it in my email to Jerry. So that would be very helpful. Okay. And otherwise, recruitment, we kind of covered.
I think so.
So, otherwise, our next meeting will be May 13th. And there will be no June meeting, but hopefully we'll be back in gear on July, and we'll talk about that in May.
So I guess the minute taker of that meeting will be Cliff. Since he and I are the only two.
Well, no, I
Well,
think
Britt's gone.
Britt.
Britt will be
Oh,
gone.
Britt will, oh, in
She
May?
she told us she's gonna be gone in May and June.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Oh, no,
So,
she's gonna be gone in
This
this
month
meeting
and
and in May.
Okay.
Yeah.
okay. And then, in that case,
So she's gonna have to take the minutes and,
and
July.
Michelle, we kind of have a rotating minute taker, but we also use an AI assist now that might, what's he called? He or she?
Zoom, it's like embedded into Zoom, so
Yeah,
Zoom AI.
so you'll send
Yeah.
the link
Yes,
to me?
we'll send
Okay.
the, this will get summarized in AI, and then I think, it might get sent out to everybody now, but I'll check in.
That's fine.
I think Teresa said that she was just gonna send it to all the full committee, but I'll double check on that to make sure it's distributed. Russ, do you have a preferred format to receive it in, Word, Google Doc?
Word,
I can do
No,
that.
we're all Apple people.
Hmm?
We're Apple people. Yeah.
I'm not Apple.
Okay.
yeah.
So for others.
Are you
like a
Gravenstein or
Google,
are you Cosmic Crisp or what?
Okay, so May 13th, we'll see you all on May 13th, and if that
Or
is,
Not yet.
what's that?
Don't close it yet.
Oh, okay, well, I was
We-
gonna take a motion.
I don't want to do that yet.
Bruce, do you have
Remember,
some-
we had a couple of items we were supposed to do under to-do list,
Yes.
And I don't remember the first one was, but I did that. But the second one, I know that was about the bike pump over.
Yes, oh, yes.
And that hasn't been done.
No,
You
it
were-
has
You
not.
were going to
Yes,
get a hold of Daniels, is it?
yes, Ken Daniels.
Ken Daniels.
And,
Is that at the
pump,
Canby Hub?
Call an
Yes.
action item, it'll,
and so,
I did determine the pump is good. It is the valve, which is both a Presta and a Schrader valve
yeah,
combination. And those ones that are combo valves never work well for very long. And that's the problem.
so the suggestion would be
Replace the valve.
with a combo valve, or do
Oh,
we
yeah.
get,
I think,
or do we talk about getting a second one, a one for a Schrader and a whole new pump for Presta?
I don't know.
But it has lasted
I would just
quite a
replace.
few years.
I just replaced the one. You got you have the name of the company, you said.
Yeah, but,
And I would simply go to the company and say, we need a new valve.
yeah,
It's
but
probably a $10 item.
I'm just clarifying,
No,
it's a combo valve
No, it's
that we need.
yeah,
Yes, yeah. You're not suggesting we do otherwise.
not really.
Yeah,
Just simply because there's only one place you can attach it.
yeah. And quite honestly, it has lasted quite a few years
Yeah.
for a combo valve.
It's been, what, 10 years?
Yeah. So, okay. Alrighty. Oh, well. This is my number one. All right. I will take a motion to adjourn unless there is
Going.
any other items.
Who do we adjourn?
Second?
Discussion, all in favor? All right, we are adjourned at 7:20. Thank you.